Let's think about our actions. The common understanding of paap is to do something wrong. Let's think a little bit about whatever it is that we think we're doing wrong, why we do it. The reason we do things time and time and time again, even though we may label them as wrong, why do we keep doing them? We know we're doing something wrong, but we still do it. Let's say it's anger. Let's say we have a bad temper. We keep doing it. And afterwards we regret and we say, I shouldn't have done it. But we do it again and again and again. The same is true for stealing. The same is true for obsessions with maya, with materialism, with lust. The same is true every time. The reason we do it again and again and again is because they've become a habit. So we need to understand, why do habits form? Even when we know we want to break our habits, why can't we break them? So then we have to understand our habits. What is a habit? A habit is a decision that you no longer have to make. The first time you make that decision, there is a choice. You're walking down a road, you can either choose the left path or the right path. The moment you've chosen the left path, that first decision is difficult. That's the first time that you really have to apply some thought. The second day, that decision becomes a little bit easier. The third day, the fourth day, the fifth day, eventually you walk down that road, you don't even see the right path, you only see the left path. Because it's become habit. You don't even need to think about it anymore. This is how our actions work. When a habit continues for so long that you can no longer say no to it, that's when a habit has become an addiction. An addiction is simply anything that you can't say no to. A habit you might still be able to say no to. But an addiction is something, no matter how much you try, the habit is so deep-rooted within you that you're unable to say no. You're unable to stop that action. That's where habits become addictions. You know, when water flows, when a river flows downstream, they say it takes the path of least resistance. When a river flows, it doesn't try and go the difficult way. It goes the easiest way, wherever it can just flow easily. Our minds work in the same way. Our mind doesn't like to be challenged most of the time. For simple things, we don't like our habits to be challenged. That's why even though we're saying no to our habits, secretly, we don't really want them to be changed. And our sin of forgetting the oneness has become our biggest habit. And our addiction to the world and the way we understand the world and the way we understand ourselves is something so hard to say no to that the world has now become our drug. Our ego and our self-identity is our biggest drug. We are addicted to our own self-identity. We love ourselves. We love the way we live, the things that we buy, our quirky little habits. We don't mind them. We love them. We're addicted to them. We say, what are you going to do? This is who I am. Our habits have become part of our self-identity. So Guruji isn't just trying to clean your body, isn't just trying to clean a little bit of sin off you. Guruji, when he talks about Pauri mat papa ke sang, he's not talking about your anger, he's not talking about your greed, your lust, your addictions. That's not the pap that Guruji is interested in. He is interested in the source of the pap. What makes those sins happen? What makes those sins occur? Your very idea of who you think you are is what Guruji wants to wash away from you. Because who you are, who you think you are, stops you from realizing what you really are. As long as we identify with our individual selves, we don't have to be the Brahmgyani. We don't have to be the saint. We can be heading in that direction, but we can keep some of our pap. We can keep some of our habits. I'm not a Brahmgyani. I'm not a saint. Nobody in my family would accept me if I had decided to become a saint. What are people going to say? How will I go to work? So we don't really want to be a saint. We're happy being the papi a little bit. A little bit of pap we say is okay. But Guruji is saying it's one or the other. You're either in or you're out. You're either you or you're him. Which one are you? Jab hum hote, tab tu nahi. When I am me, I am not you. But when I'm you, then me no longer exists. It's one or the other. And Naam is the medicine. Naam is the very thing that can help re-identify ourselves. We've accepted our sins. So the question is, what do we do with our sins? What should we do with our impulses? Should we say, okay, I'm going to decide to be a saint now? Is that the direction we're heading? All we're doing is giving ourselves a new label. And we would give ourselves new actions. Okay, what would a saint do in the morning? Let me do all those actions. So it's very difficult. Remember in the last verse where we talked about this Shabad about Pap and Pun being two brothers, joined twins. If you're running away from Pap towards Pun, Pap is never far behind, he's just round the corner. So if you restrict yourself, think about it. Think about how many times you've gone on a diet. Think about how many times you've tried to break a habit. How long does it last? A couple of days, a week, 2 weeks, a month at most? You wouldn't need to have New Year's resolutions every year if you stuck to the resolutions that you made in the first place. But we can't. Our habits creep back in. So if you try to wake up tomorrow morning and be a saint, it'll last for a couple of days, and then your habits kick back in. So what do we do? What's the solution? If we accept, okay, this is the way I am, and I can't just switch it off, and I can't just say tomorrow I don't want to be this person, I want to be that person. Because remember, punni, papi, akhana nahe, these aren't just labels. You can't just call yourself something new tomorrow and hope that it's going to be the start of a whole new beginning. What do we do? How do we get rid of our old habits? Guruji says, make Naam your habit. Start a new habit. Make Naam your habit. If you get up every morning and bathe yourself with soap, if you get up every day and you bathe your clothes and wash your clothes with detergent, what are you washing your mind with? Don't worry about how it's going to look after it's washed. Actually start washing. But we don't want that. We want to say, I'm wearing the sinner clothes today, tomorrow I want to be the saint. But where is the process of washing? Where is the effort? You have to do something. Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, make Naam your habit. What does this mean? Let's think about how we act. Whatever the impulse is, whatever the habit is that you're trying to break, our normal reaction is to say, I'm going to restrict myself, I'm going to stop myself. It's like when you have some chocolates in front of you, and if you say, every day I eat chocolates, today I'm going to restrict myself. How long does that last? So our normal reaction to an impulse is to restrict that impulse, is to suppress it. That is what we call going from sinner to saint. But if we're saintly for one moment, the sinner comes back. That's not the solution. Guruji says, at that point when the impulse arrives, make Naam the response. And by Naam, we don't mean, okay, stop thinking about it, let me just do Waheguru Simran. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about Naam, the awareness. Let's just stop for a moment and be aware. See, when you're waiting for that chocolate, you're not in the moment. You're in the next moment when that chocolate is going to touch your mouth, when that taste is going to come into you, when that impulse is going to be satisfied. So your mind is not in the moment, it's in the future. And until that is satisfied, you remain in that future. Guruji says, make Naam your response. Come back to the present moment and just be. Breathe. Observe. Be in a moment of realization. We're not indulging in our impulse and we're not restricting our impulse. We're simply stopping just for a moment to observe, to be present. Recognize the thought that has come in. Rather than reacting straight away, how many times when an impulse comes in, straight away we think we have to act on it. But we never actually stop and think, okay, the thought has come. Doesn't mean I have to do anything about it, it's just a thought. Out of nowhere, the thought has just floated into my mind. Most of the time when you're getting bored, you're sitting in front of a computer screen at work, it's been several hours, you think, I need a break, I know I'll go for coffee. Oh wait, I said I wasn't going to have any coffee. Or I said I wasn't going to have any chocolate. Now you've started a battle. Which one is going to win? Some days the chocolate wins, some days your saint wins, the one that can resist. Guruji says, don't engage in that battle. Step back, watch, observe. Be in the present moment of Naam. And just enjoy the moment. Just take a moment. It's like taking a break from yourself. Take a moment to just enjoy the moment. Breathe it in. Live 100% in that moment. Savor the taste of that moment. Drown and dissolve yourself into the awakened state of that moment. Be awake in the moment. That is O tope nave ke rang, being drenched in the love of that present realization. That is the solution. Not to fight the impulse, not to restrict the impulse, or to engage in that impulse. Simply accept it as a thought that's come in and then say, oh, I don't need to engage with that thought because that thought takes me away from now. That takes me into the future. I can't wait till I get it. I can't wait till I have it. That's somewhere else. Naam is now, in the moment. Remember, your actions aren't the problem. Guru doesn't really care whether you have that coffee or whether you have that temptation or that chocolate. Your actions aren't the problem. It's your awareness that's the problem. It's your thinking. It's where is your thinking right now? Where is your mind right now? Because you could be eating that chocolate and doing Naam Simran. You could be drinking that coffee and doing Naam Simran at the same time. That's what Guruji wants. Guru doesn't care what you consume. Ape beej ape hi khao. Nothing to do with me. So the question is, are we talking about something that is completely opposite to what the Guru has said before? Hukm hai andar sab ko, bahar hukm na koy. Because that's the other way to think. That says, actually, Guruji, this is how you made me. Thank you very much. I'll go and have that chocolate now. I don't need to question how you made me. I don't need to worry about whether I'm a sinner or a saint. That's how you've made me. That's what we've been learning all this time. Accept hukam, accept who you are. Now is Guruji telling us, be aware, be present, change. If you're like this, you should be like that. Which one is it? Is everything hukam? Or do we reap what we sow? Do we have free will? Do we have the opportunity to create our destiny? Ape beej ape hi khao. As you sow, so you shall reap. Which one is it? Guruji gives the answer. Nanak hukmi avo jao. All of this coming and going, all of this left and right, moving from one side of the spectrum to the other side of the spectrum, that's hukam as well. This little mind game that you're having with yourself, am I a sinner, am I a saint? That's hukam as well. Nanak says, by the way, it's not really about you. It's all part of the hukam. This little ego trip that we go on, I used to be a sinner, now I'm a saint. Today, what shall I do? Shall I restrict myself? Should I give in to temptation? You might not be in hukam, you might not be aware of hukam, but hukam is aware of you. Hukam is doing this through you. This is the game of hukam. Your indecisiveness, your swinging from left to right, avo jao, coming and going. You don't know if you're coming and going, but Guruji is saying this is all part of hukam. Nanak hukmi avo jao. By the command, we come and we go. Whether that's in every moment or in life. All of our comings and goings is part of the bigger game. All of our success and our failure isn't dependent on what we do, isn't dependent on our actions, isn't even dependent on our ability to clean our self-identity. It's actually dependent on hukam. Understanding this wisdom is not your doing. Being here, listening to this katha right now isn't your doing. It's your hukam. You didn't bring yourself here. You're not listening to these words. Because if you are, then you're adding to that sin. I am here. I'm bettering myself. Look how religious I'm being. This is all part of hukam.